Hey, you guys. I have been in the thick of it the past couple days, needing to finish some personal projects that I have put off for far too long. And someone else who's waiting for me is going to kill me if I don't. But I needed a shakeup in the energy. Like, I was feeling a little stagnant and just like weighed down with everything that I had to do this week and the past couple days. So I decided to stop and pull a collective read. Okay, so I pulled out my new Healing Waters Oracle, which I just love, with the amazing guidance that comes through. And here we are. This is actually a little stack, but these last 4 cards are just like a beautiful sign of messages of reassurance that Spirit always likes to give us. So I felt guided to put them in more of a cross. But let's get started. The first card we have is Stagnant Waters, and I thought that was ironic considering that's how I was feeling just from having to devote myself to finishing these projects the last 2 days. And I just used that word, right? But I actually feel like, even though for me it's been because of needing to focus on these projects, I still feel like it is something that is being rippled through the entire collective. I feel like everyone is in similar energy to this, and that many of you are in this energy of feeling stuck or stagnant. Now, I do think there's 2 different things going on here, though. One aspect of it is that divine feminines are feeling stuck, or they're feeling, actually, rephrase. Divine feminines are feeling stagnant in their twin flame connections because the masculines are feeling stuck in their karmic situations. So that is one circumstance that is going on. And in that particular scenario, I need to say to the feminines, or Spirit needs to say to the feminines, you need to remember that you're mirroring each other. So if this is actually leading into the second aspect of this, if you are feeling, or if the divine masculine is feeling stuck, then what is going on in your life that is also stuck? That is also, like, why are you allowing yourself to be stagnant right now? The actual connection and relationship might not be moving forward just yet, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be. The connection will have progress when you are both in a healed enough place where you're ready to do that, where you're ready to take those steps with each other. But in your individual lives, you should not be waiting for your twin in order to create movement and to make things happen. So if you are feeling stagnant yourself, you need to look within, or look at your own life and ask yourself, why do I feel stagnant? What needs to shift or change here? You are wanting, see how it says a call for shifts, flow, and change. You're wanting shifts and changes to happen. Well, what can you do in your life to start creating that? Because as you work with the energy to make things happen and to bring about those changes, I believe Spirit says to inject movement into your life, you will help your twin be able to do the same thing. But I feel it's important to say that we have to step back, look at the higher perspective, and understand that things are happening the way they are for a reason. Don't hold it against your twin if they are still feeling or acting stuck in their current situations. You have to understand that they are going through their own process, their process of healing, their process of growth. They're integrating the necessary lessons. They will move forward when they are fully empowered to. And you have to trust that. You have to trust their side of the process. You have to trust Spirit to get them through that. Don't hold it against them. Don't be angry, bitter, and upset with them because you perceive them to be stuck and unmoving in their own karmic situations. But recognize what their healing process is and lovingly hold space for them to go through it while you confidently inject movement into your side of life. Okay? Then we have Let It Rain, which also has 2 messages here. And I just noticed the rainbow on this card, which I just love too. And it even comes back around from the bottom as well. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah, a lot of these cards have double meanings here. So first off, Let It Rain itself. If you are struggling right now, sometimes you just got to let it rain. You just got to get it out. You got to purge. One of the things that I came to realize over the course of this journey and that I teach my clients is that the purges are a necessary part of the process. They fucking suck. Like, it is not fun sobbing and crying it out. And really what's going on there is you are being pushed through your fears, being forced to face them. Many times these purges bring about these revelations and epiphanies. I feel like, sorry, I was talking slowly because I was having stuff come to me at the same time. But I feel like in the beginning, we don't necessarily get it. We don't have those epiphanies just yet that we're purging because we need to release the emotions that have been pent up and repressed within us. And that is a huge part of the healing process. But the further along you get, as the roots of these wounds and issues are coming to the surface, with these purges are coming about these massive revelations of, oh my God, that's why. And, insert whatever it is, I can give you an example because going along with my projects I need to work on today. Like I said, a family member is upset with me because I've been putting them off for too long and I need to get it done. And I had a massive release earlier today because of feeling bad for making her wait. And while I was having that release, all of these things came to the surface and I had a ton of realizations about my own inner wounds, my own inner child wounds, and various aspects of it. It was like the one core wound with multiple, I can't think of the right word. All right, we'll say tentacles, with multiple tentacles extending out from it, and how it was affecting me in different ways. And I just suddenly, I saw the bigger picture of that core wound that honestly, I have not, that's the first time I really fully gained clarity over that. And now I have to go and work with spirit and meditation on healing it, now that I can see it clearly. But that is what I'm talking about when I say these purges are going to bring about revelations and epiphanies. It can be various things. For me today, it was connected to self-worth and certain and mother and father wounds. For actually, I shouldn't say that. Other times, we'll say, for everybody, it can be something else. It can be a faith wound. Another time last year, I know I'm using myself as another example, but working with what I got. So last year, I had a huge purge that was entirely fear-based. Like, it was a fear wound, a massive fear and faith wound. I should have said faith wound, not fear wound. They're the same, but it was the faith wound is what I was trying to say is the type of fear. Because, okay, so Spirit is just talking slowly through me tonight, and I can tell that this is going to probably be at least 3 videos because I have more I want to say about this. I'm going to run out of time. But the twin flame journey itself creates its own wounds and creates its own fears. One of the biggest things that I've struggled with and that I've even talked to Spirit about today was the wounds that have been created by this journey. And I kind of said to Spirit earlier, like, it's not my fault. You did this to me. Like, you caused this paranoia. Hold that thought. I was saying that I said to Spirit earlier today, even, that it's Spirit's fault that this anxiety and paranoia can rear its ugly head occasionally. Fortunately for me, it's not very often anymore. But when it does, in this particular instance, what I was saying to Spirit is that the reason why is because the twin flame journey is so hard and so long that Spirit is frequently giving us a lot of reassurance, whether it's in angel numbers, feathers, other signs, readings, whatever it is. Spirit is constantly reassuring us so that we can persevere through and get to the other side. But in doing so, there can be, what's the word I want to say? I can't quite think of it, so I'm going to use a different phrase that's close. But there can be false positives, so to speak. I don't mean that the outcome won't be what you believe it to be, but what I mean is that it's the timing. It's the leading you to believe that it will be, very soon. When to Spirit, very soon doesn't necessarily mean next week, next month. To Spirit, very soon can be within a few years even. It will be soon, but it will be when you're both ready and on Spirit's timing. And so the reassurance, and sometimes from readings, false time frames can create those false, oh my gosh, I just said it and I already forgot it. False positives. And oh my gosh, I just realized my mental acuity is getting better. Oh, yay. If you guys have noticed, I've been saying that ever since the car accident, I've been needing to improve in that area. Like I had a deficiency or something. Anyway, I just forgot how to talk. So let me get back to the reading instead. For a second, I thought it was improving and then I went downhill. Anyway, yeah, the false positives can cause us to have faith purges because we worry that we're feeling good, but then a what if will pop into our mind. What if we're crazy? What if this is all a psyop? What if it will never happen? All those different things. And part of the reason why that fear perpetuates on the twin flame journey is because of Spirit reassuring us over and over and over again to help us persevere through the journey. But at the same time, it makes us believe that it might happen sooner than it actually is. And, that is also a human thing in wanting instant gratification, because the truth is that when we need it to happen like that, that's when it's not going to happen because we're not ready yet. We need to heal. It's when we don't need it to happen like that, that's when it will happen. That's when it will come in unexpectedly. But anyway, my point is simply that the twin flame journey itself creates these false positives and this paranoia, and it makes the faith wound difficult at times because of Spirit is always reassuring us, but yet it feels elusive and constantly out of reach. So that is a wound that will come up for purging, especially as you're deepening in the surrender process, because you can be feeling really, really good, and then maybe like something minor triggers you, and you need to, you get triggered with the faith wound of the what if everything I just said previously. What if it doesn't happen? What if I'm crazy? All those things again. So the purges, I feel like I'm rambling tonight. But I also feel like it's deep, profound wisdom from spirit coming through just very slowly and sometimes awkwardly. But anyway, so I know I originated this in saying that the purges happen for a reason. And that is one of the reasons, that they are releasing the pent up wounds that need to come out. And they are also bringing about the revelations and the breakthroughs that we need in order to continue to move forward. So sometimes you just got to let it rain and you got to purge it out. Okay. Now, the other aspect of this, because I don't want to spend the whole 10 minutes on this one card, allowing what is, radical acceptance. Remember, let's go back to that Stagnant Waters card. Right now, you're feeling stagnant. The masculine is feeling stuck for whatever reason. You're wanting shifts, flow, and changes. Right now, actually, let's not focus on the shifts, flows, and changes. It's the feeling stuck part. Right now, you have to have that radical acceptance of allowing what is right now. Understanding that it is what it needs to be for the moment. It won't stay like this forever. You have to have trust in the inevitability of forward movement, in the inevitability of the outcome. I know I was going to say this later. I'll probably bring it up again, but one of the strongest things that I have felt on this journey, particularly when I was in the depths of it, when I was in the hardest parts of it, it was the hardest parts because it was the worst part of the separation, and it was also the worst part of the spiritual warfare journey that I had and that many have. And I felt so strongly, felt it in my bones, in the depths of my soul, that we do not go through this for no reason. We do not go through this hell, the dark night of the soul of the separation phase of the twin flame journey that is bringing us through this spiritual rebirth process. We don't turn into goo. Spirit doesn't turn us into goo to leave us like that, okay? We are destined to come out the other side. And we don't go through this for no reason. Why would we meet our twin flame for no reason? Even though I'm channeling about the different types of twins and twin rays and that they don't always come into union, even with twin rays, I don't understand why you would be going through the depths of this for no reason. I truly believe that there is still a positive outcome for all twins and all types of twins in some capacity, at least. But I do not believe that we go through this for no reason. Let me just say it one more time. I believe in the inevitability that we will come together and we will come into union. And sure enough, I felt that in the depths of my soul, and then later on Spirit confirmed it for me as well. When I was told that union is guaranteed for twin flames, which is the main group that I've talked about. And even though that may not be the case for twin rays, that it's guaranteed, like I said, I truly believe that there is a resolution at the very least. You're not going to stay in the depths of it, at the depths of the dark nights of the soul forever. You're going to come out the other side of that and have a better outcome in your paths and in your connection. But anyway, you have to accept what is, go with the flow, and allow everything to evolve as it needs to, okay? Trust in the inevitability of it all coming together. Lordy, I gotta get a move on. Okay, ride the waves. You have to remind yourself over and over again that whatever challenges you're going through, difficult processes, experiences for both you and your twin and the journey, it's happening for a reason. It's part of your lessons and growth. We do not become better people in general, let alone with the twin flame journey, by having it easy. This is something that I have known since long before I was ever on a twin flame journey, since I was a teenager. We build character through the difficult experiences that we go through. And every single thing that happens, even the bad stuff, is happening for a reason, for a purpose, for our lessons and growth. And we have to trust that, and we have to learn how to ride the waves. That's just how life works, unfortunately. But there's another important aspect to this. So I'll be right back with the rest of that. So, like I was saying, the difficult stuff is part of our lessons and growth. It's part of spirit using life's pressures and challenges to transform us, just like, turning coal into diamonds, all that stuff. You can make it easier or harder for yourself, okay? Think about swimming in the ocean. If you are trying to go against the current and trying to fight the natural flow of things, you're going to have it a lot harder. That's literally when people almost drown. And think of the drowning like the depths of the dark night of the soul. The more that you can allow yourself to flow with the current and allow things to unfold how they need to. Don't try and fight the process. Don't try to hold on so tightly to the way you think things should be and the way you think things should happen or the way you want them to, as opposed to the way they need to be, the way that your spirit guides are guiding things to happen for both of you, for things to progress the way that they need to for each of your healing journeys. The easier it will be, surrendering to going with the flow of the universe, honestly. And the ocean is the universe. You got to learn how to ride the waves. Don't fight them. You're just going to make it harder for yourself. I want to add to that. I just said you're going to make it harder for yourself. You're also going to make it more painful for yourself the more you fight it. It becomes less painful when you can surrender to the trust. And I know that's easier said than done, and some people can do that more easily than others. Those who struggle with control issues and OCD and those types of things, they have a lot harder time surrendering to trust. But when you can do that, that's when it becomes less painful and easier. And that brings us to follow the stream, which, look, trust. Trust is such a huge theme in these cards tonight. You have to, once again, follow the stream. Another way of saying go with the flow. It literally says surrender to the current of the waters that you're in. Trust the path that you're on. I don't know how many more ways Spirit can say it. You have to trust that. Actually, I'm going back to that previous phrase. You have to trust in the inevitability of the outcome and trust that Spirit's got you, got your back, is guiding you correctly. Trust the path that you're on. Trust your higher self. And that faith wound and that trust issue is going to be a recurring theme in your lessons and your tests and your growth and your healing all throughout the journey. Once you're in the surrender stages, you've usually healed more of the core wounds that are what you are the most painful in the separation phase. So once you're in the surrender phase, you will find that you are continually tested regarding certain particular wounds. I think that the timing issue is one that you'll be tested on here periodically, as well as the faith wound. And actually, I really believe that's one of the reasons why Spirit is calling me to focus the 9/9 collective healing this Saturday on the faith wound, and you can sign up in my Etsy shop. There's a link in my link tree in my bio if you want to sign up for that collective healing, and I'll be sending a guided meditation to everyone. But anyway, like I said, I really feel that that's why Spirit is wanting to focus on that, because it's huge. People don't always realize that, but the faith wound is one of the biggest wounds that this journey heals, because from the 3D reality, it is so strongly ingrained in us to have validation and evidence of everything, and you can't believe in it without that. You have to have science, you have to have evidence, you have to have proof. And this journey, and just spirit in general, but God, spirituality, as well as the twin flame journey, trusting in this connection, trusting in the outcome, all of it requires literal blind faith. And I know that it's easier said than done depending on the phases that you're in. Those in no contact separations, have it a lot harder than those in the reunion phase. But that blind faith is one of the hardest things to achieve, and you will be tested on it over and over and over again. Okay, so that's going to be a constant thing, working on that trust that this stream is going to flow and become the ocean and become everything and things. You are inevitably going to get there. This card was a jumper, so extra emphasis on this message, but here's that word trust again. Trust your inner compass. Trust your intuition. Your intuition is connected to your spirit team. It is leading and guiding you. But the hardest part about this is, for many of us, we want, and I think this is a core thing for most of humanity, honestly. We want to feel like we have control, like we have our lives under control and just everything under control. I don't even know how else to say that. And this journey requires us to relinquish that. It requires us to allow spirit to be in control and to trust our intuition, trust our guidance, trust our soul path, and let go of that need for control, because we feel stagnant when we feel like our twin is stuck and we want to gain control in some way. We want to try and force our twin to do what we want them to do, because it all comes back to that control, that desire and need for control, to feel like we have everything under control. I don't even know a different word to use, but you know what I mean. It all comes back to that. I know not everybody's like that, but I'm like that. So it's hard for me to actually even relate to those who aren't, I will say. And I have realized that I have OCD. And when you have those OCD tendencies, as I know many of you do, this becomes one of the hardest things. And I'm actually seeing it play out with divine masculines as well. That they just get, because of their inner wounds and because of their belief systems that they're raised with and all these different things, people don't want to believe that there's a higher plan and that things just play out how they need to. They want to believe that they have control over their lives and control over everything. And this journey literally forces you to relinquish that control. And so that is, think of it like you have a firm grip on something, and you have to the purges and the separation process and everything that you go through in the separation phase, it's spirit forcing you to just slowly let go of that hard grip and be able to go with the flow back to that again. But yeah, if you can go within and focus on that, tune into that, and feel your way through that process of letting go of such a firm grip and need for control, you will really help the process along a lot, and you will really help your healing along a lot. But back to this. This is also about so what happens when we get caught up in that need for control? Anxiety can build up. And that can also happen. You can be in a good state of surrender, and then events can occur that thrust you into that anxiety and feeling like you need to gain control. Perfect example, for my twin and I, at least, and I feel like this has been for a lot of people this summer, we have had, both of us in our individual lives, have had multiple tower moments happening for the last 2 months. And that has been part of my struggle this week, has been having anxiety from feeling the need to gain control over all of these things. Like, it hasn't been about our connection, but it's been stuff happening in both of our lives, really. Hold that thought. I don't want to get into the details of what's going on in our individual lives, because that's private stuff. But yeah, like, just multiple tower moments. And when I say tower moments, I mean events completely out of our control that are forcing us to go through different experiences in our individual paths and together, that are just shaking up our lives. And I've been picking up his anxiety as well, so it's made mine worse. But I've had my own stuff going on, just trying to juggle these various things, that the anxiety was creeping up on me over the weekend and the beginning of this week. And you know why? Because I felt out of control. I felt like I didn't know how to handle everything, because I felt out of control with so much going on that needed to be handled, but because of the way it was all thrust upon me, I didn't have control over it. And it forced me to, long story short on that, it forced me to make some executive decisions to be able to let go of the anxiety more so, because it didn't really give me control. It gave me an inkling of control, and just being able to, more so in being able to make a decision of how to proceed, more so than actually controlling the situations. But still, more so, I'm talking about being able to control the anxiety, actually. And in order to get control over the anxiety, that's where Spirit is calling us to trust our inner compass, trust our inner knowing. The anxiety will creep up at times because of just life. It doesn't have to be because of something with your twin. It can just be because of anything going on for you. But when that anxiety is creeping up, especially when life is happening to you, it can cause fear and doubts with your twin flame journey too. So that's when Spirit needs you to dig deep, and don't allow that anxiety to get you in the trenches of 3D fear-based thinking. Focus on tuning in within and trusting your inner compass, like it says. I was almost having a panic attack on Monday morning or Tuesday morning. Honestly, I think it was everything. I think it was feeling my twins' anxiety combined with my own, and it just, the multitude of things all together was weighing on me to the point where I was starting to feel immobile, like unable to do something, because I didn't even know where to start. And I finally just literally said, like, God, Spirit, please help me calm down and feel my way forward. And honestly, within a minute or two, I did. And all of a sudden, that's when I gained the clarity. That's when I knew what I needed to do. And that's when I was able to make the decision. And that's what I mean by going into your inner knowing. And when that anxiety is creeping up and you're feeling all kinds of ways, whether it's because of the stagnant energy or because of the challenges and the rough waves or whatever it is, or the tower moments, that's when you got to stop, close your eyes, take a deep breath, maybe go outside, ground, spend time in nature or by water. Just find your center again and ask Spirit to help you feel your way forward. And that is how you will find your knowing and find your trust. Oh, I forgot. I want to read a specific sentence here that I really, really love from the book. Actually, I'm going to read the whole paragraph. Intuition is pointless unless we act on it, but it rarely makes logical sense, which is why it takes faith to trust it and courage to act on it. But when we do gather up the will to act on our intuition, this is the important part. Each and every day we'll find ourselves living a truly blessed, deeply aligned life that's led from within. I call it living a soul-led life. And I have to tell you guys, Spirit literally told my twin exactly that the other day. He asked me for a message from Spirit about the stuff going on in his life, or he asked me to ask Spirit, and that, I mean, it wasn't those exact words, but it was basically that message that Spirit gave him, that he needs to fulfill his soul. And that's what it is. Live a soul-led life. And when you're doing that, you're not going to get caught up in that anxiety, and you're truly going to be happy. Now we get to the good part. So what's on the other side of all that? Well, first of all, like, you are the pearl right now. You and your twin are the pearl right now. The grit to grace represents that process of creating a pearl. And that's like what I was saying before, like turning a coal into a diamond. You know, I use this analogy a lot about on the twin flame journey. Spirit has us in a vice and is continually applying pressure and forcing out what isn't helping us anymore, forcing out those repressed wounds and emotions that need to come out so that we can become a pearl, become a diamond, be healed, whole, and ready for true divine union. That's what this journey is. Whether you see it as the vice analogy, or you see it as the caterpillar to butterfly analogy being turned into goo, or how being pushed through the birth canal is another one that I like. Whatever you prefer, that's what we're going through. And like I was talking about, I don't believe we're going through this for no reason. There is a reward at the end. There's always a reward at the end. Whatever that may be, whatever it may look like for each person and each type of twin, there is a reward at the end. And this is the alchemy of what we're going through. This, another very important message here. Something sacred is being created. And while that can be an aspect of the work that we are doing in our own lives, what we are creating for ourselves, you know, that is bolstered by the twin flame journey. But really what the twin flame journey is Spirit doing that to us. So we are what is sacred that is being created. And Spirit is doing that. Our higher selves and our spirit team are working their magical alchemy on us in order to turn us into a pearl in this case, but to bring out the sacred within us and truly help us blossom. I have to add as well that the divine union with your twin is part of that sacred thing that is being created here. It's not only about yourself. It's that union within first, and then it's the union with your twin as well, because as I have told you guys in other videos, the union with your twin is also essential and important as part of the ascension process for humanity and the planet. It is not, there are many people who, these are the people who struggle to believe in the outcome and trust in the outcome, that they say you don't need your twin. You can just, go through the journey, the awakening journey itself, but not need your twin. No, that's not the case. The union with your twin is important for ascension as well. Now, because there's different types of twins, when that occurs for you, that may vary, but the union with your twin is important too, and that is absolutely part of what is sacred that is being created. But it's the most important part, honestly. It just is within first, okay? And guess what? Guess what's next after this, after achieving the alchemy? It's the union. It's the sensuality, romance, enjoyment, fertility, enjoying the sweet waters. It's coming, baby. And hey, maybe you're making babies in the sweet waters. I just noticed she's pregnant too. The babies are coming too. In the meantime, create joy in your life. Enjoy the little things, the simple pleasures. Embrace all of your senses and enjoying every moment. Yes, you are going to be celebrating with your twin in union, but in the meantime, before you fully get there, Spirit wants and needs you to be creating joy in your life already, okay? Yes, you're going to be celebrating, but celebrate your life now too. That when you can do that, that's when you're coming into inner union first, okay? Open your heart and embrace life and live it. Live your life to the fullest now. and you will help everything come together. You'll help your twin step into his fullness and be with you, and then you will be reaping all of the rewards of life. The prosperity, the abundance, everything is going to come together. Spirit is assuring you of that. Make the best of it in the meantime.